This video is sponsored by NordVPN. The Pixel 10 is a strange smartphone, not necessarily in a bad way, but it changes the way you think about high-end devices, and that's something definitely worth talking about. Following on from the brilliant Pixel 9, there is a lot to like here, but some things that you also need to be aware of. So let's talk about one of the most divisive and contradictory smartphones that Google has ever made. Hey guys, I'm Ryan Thomas, and on paper, the Pixel 10 is quite an improvement over its predecessor. It has a brighter display, a more powerful processor, faster charging, a larger battery, a new telephoto camera for the first time in a base model Tensor Pixel, and it also ships with Android 16 and 7 years of platform upgrades, meaning that it should receive Android 23. It has new camera modes, new AI features, and has crucially retained its $799 MSRP at launch. That all sounds incredibly promising, and there's certainly no denying that you're getting upgrades here. But there are some areas of the Pixel 10 that downgrade on its predecessor, which seems rather odd, but it also could mean absolutely nothing depending on who you are. One of the most convenient and handy inventions of the last few years is certainly a VPN, and that's where this video sponsor NordVPN comes in. Not only does this service help you browse anonymously, tunneling your network traffic through another region which helps secure your connection, but it's also just really handy for watching programs, movies and sports that you just wouldn't get in your home version of Netflix, for example. Or if, like me, you're a die-hard Premier League fanatic and you go on holiday, being able to log into your streaming services just as you normally would without a fuss is brilliant, and NordVPN allows you to do that. It works on Mac, Windows, iOS and our beloved Android. It's easy to install and get set up. If you go to nordvpn.com/androidpolice, you'll get up to 77% off a 2-year plan and 4 months extra for free. So check that link out in the video description, and a big thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring today's content. So let me get just straight to the point. The Pixel 10's main and ultra-wide cameras are from the Pixel 9a, not the much more capable 9, and this is likely to enable the new 10.8 megapixel 5x optical telephoto on here, without the need for a price jump, which is really nice. Now, functionally, that makes this camera setup more powerful than what we had before, with Google's ability to build robust and powerful computational photography systems. There hasn't been a giant quality drop-off that you might expect going from the much bigger sensors in last year's phone, but one thing that I consistently found in the Pixel 10's photos is the feeling of over-processing. That was the most obvious maybe in night photos where the smaller sensors really had to work extra hard, and so did the software. But it seemed like some things just came out strangely and almost unnaturally sharp. The same when you switch over to that telephoto in normal light, where most photos, you can see stuff that's really far away, and that is brilliant. But reaching right up to the 20 times limit, particularly on text, is where clearly AI is doing a lot of the job here. AI doesn't seem to like text very much, so this is kind of like the smoking gun, so to speak. To really see how much AI is going on, just point this thing at a sign very far away and you will find that it's doing a lot. I think for the target demographic, the Pixel 10 after all is aimed at the every person, not the camera enthusiast or shutterbug. This camera setup is going to be more than enough for most people. They'll love the Add Me feature, the ability to check out things from really far away with that big telephoto. They'll love the general point and shoot reliability that Google's Pixel phones have been best known for. It's just that to anyone with a keen eye or a pet peeve on downgrades and AI, this is going to feel at best or uncomfortable at worst. Camera Coach is also here to help you take better photos. It's available in the corner of the main camera app, and basically it just uses AI to detect what's in the scenery around you and then tells you how to take a photo, how to place your phone, which lens to use, for example, to get the best result. Honestly, I hate this. It goes against my principles, but as a feature, maybe it's something that you're interested in. In my opinion, you should be creative, use your intuition, be a human. You can let me know what you think about that opinion in the comments. And then there's this strange storage situation. So I recommend going and checking out this article by my wonderful colleague on AP. But long story short, if you buy the 128GB SKU, you'll be stuck with UFS 3.1 storage, which has half the max bandwidth of UFS 4. And to get UFS 4, you have to buy a SKU that is 256GB or higher. And then in certain regions, you will also get zoned UFS, which basically helps performance long term. So it's a little bit confusing. I'm not sure why it couldn't have been UFS 4.0 across the board, but Google decided not to go that way. A big kicker if you're a US-based phone buyer is that if you want one of these, it's going to be eSIM only for you. No card slot on it whatsoever in America. And that means that you'll, one, need to make sure your carrier supports eSIM, and two, never switch devices unless you want a big headache. Yeah, outside of the US, we still thankfully have the practical and physical SIM card slot, no dramas there. But I just wanted to make you all aware of this problem because, well, it might be a problem for you, it might not, but it's good for you to know. Right, I know right now it sounds like I dislike the Pixel 10, and though I probably wouldn't have it for myself due to the aforementioned shortcomings, there is a lot to like here that really pushes this as a recommendation I can give to people. 10 to G5 isn't a major jump from G4, in raw horsepower at least, but I'm of the opinion that most of the people who buy this thing won't feel hard done by the Pixel 10's performance. It's zippy, it's mostly smooth, though you do have to go into the settings to enable 120Hz, because for some reason the display is still set to 60 out of the box, so be aware of that. I played a load of high-end games on here, and whilst yes, it's still behind the Qualcomm-powered alternatives, I didn't feel like the 10 really gave me a particularly worrying experience from a performance standpoint. As I mentioned before, the largest target audience for this thing is likely not going to be sweating games on their mobile, so I don't have a problem with the G5 as a whole. I never ran into any kind of connectivity issues or delays, and whilst the phone got warm, it certainly didn't get as hot as like my S25 Edge. The battery life is an interesting one because it's about a 7% increase on last year with a smidge higher charging wattage, I think, to make up for that and to charge the phone in roughly the same time. So quoted about 55% in half an hour. There is of course Qi 2 on here, which uses magnets on the back, and I unfortunately don't have one of those chargers yet, so I wasn't able to test that, which is use a cable. But in battery life terms, the 10 always got me through a full day. It never felt like it was going to deliver 2 days in particular, but it never felt like it was going to let me down either. I didn't have my watch connected to this, granted. I was mostly on Wi-Fi, no LTE or 5G really, maybe 10 or 15 minutes of that. Ending the day with about 40% left in the tank with manual brightness on and of course 120Hz display setting. It's a good battery, but I don't think it'll blow you away. Though I must say Google has clearly paid attention to the fine details with the Pixel 10. The haptics are wonderfully crisp, and thanks to M3E's vibration integration with the certain elements and animations on the screen, they are very much appreciated and something you will feel a lot of the time. The in-display fingerprint scanner, faultless. Despite having a screen protector on mine, I did put it in screen protector mode when I registered my thumb on here. It's been brilliant the whole time. The buttons are so tight and feel so crisp. They are sublime, like underrated feature, 100%. I remain a fan of the camera visor as well. I think this design is brilliant. The Pixel has really grown on me in terms of its physical design. Still not a massive fan of flat sides, but I put a case on my phone anyway, so it's not as big of a problem. And I know a lot of you guys actually do like flat sides, so that's a positive. Google, as it's done for the last couple of models now, has fit a wonderful panel in front of this thing. It's a smidge brighter than before, it looks fantastic in all kinds of lighting conditions. It makes for a great experience, whether you're doing something as simple as setting a timer, or watching shorts, or watching full screen YouTube videos, and of course playing games as well. I cannot fault the screen, it's ideal. So, the Pixel 10, a $799 high-end smartphone with good performance, decent battery life, a wonderful screen, feature-rich software that should last 7 years, top-shelf physical external hardware, and cameras that are both a downgrade and also an upgrade on the Pixel 9. I can't sit here and honestly tell you that this is a bad phone, because in truth it is not. And without any kind of context or in a void, this thing is excellent. It's very well rounded for the every person, though clearly doesn't tick all the boxes for enthusiasts. But when all is said and done, its software and AI bridging the gap is something we might have to get used to in the high-end smartphone market. Are you a fan of this year's Pixel 10, guys? And if you are upgrading to one of these, where are you coming from? How old is the device that you're currently using and switching out? I'd be fascinated to hear what kind of things people are coming from for the Pixel 10 and what kind of jumps you're making. And do you care whatsoever that there are hardware downgrades with this thing? Do you feel like you're almost going backwards a bit for the same kind of money, or do you think that the positives definitely outweigh the negatives? This seems like a bit of a contentious one. Using software to bridge the hardware gap, I don't know about that one. Anyway, there's a lot to talk about, so get involved in the AP community in the comments and let us know your thoughts. And whilst you're down there, be sure to like if you enjoyed today's content and subscribe to never miss another upload on this YouTube channel, including future coverage, hopefully, of the Pixel 10 Pro models and the Watch 4. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Ryan Thomas, and I will catch you later. Cheers.